All the boys in the house. Yo, yo, yo. So the MK Turbo manifold has a fat crack on it.
I don't sell crack, I'm a prostitute.
That it's just such a massive exhaust leak that, you know, it doesn't let me build a boost right, and it just sounds like a straight up tractor. So I don't know if you guys can see it there, but it's cracked around the weld. I don't know if it was a weld or because I'm a super low boy stance boy, but I think what happened was when I was at Adams Motorsports track, when I went off track, I must have hit the exhaust hard enough where it kind of like put too much strain on the manifold and it cracked. I got the CX Racing V2 manifold. I'll pull the parts out and show you guys more in detail, but first I'm gonna pull out this exhaust manifold. Yeah, I'm gonna pretty much swap out the whole exhaust, the MK Turbo exhaust as well, since this has one of these, not a V-band, one of these mates. I'm gonna put the stock or the previous exhaust that I had, which was the ISR. So yeah, let's get to it. While I jack up the car and stuff, I'm gonna just spray these bolts with some WD. I think most of those bolts are probably gonna come out with their studs. That's what I kind of don't want to happen, because then I don't want to end up stripping the head where these thread into, but we'll see. Gotta loosen the turb skis. Let's see, get in there. Look, oh shoot, I didn't even notice that. Those welds right there. This whole thing will probably lift off. They weren't even that tight to begin with. Let's see if this thing just lifts right up. Bruh, look at that. Nah, it's still on there, but barely. Probably by a thread of metal. Come on. Yes. Come on. Yes, please.
Say it again, Dexter.
Come on. Yes, please. Yes. Yes. Alright, this thing should lift off now. Yes. There it is. So now I'm gonna take the manifold out. Look at this shit. Alright, this thing should come out now. Nice. So let's see. You see those fat cracks right there? Damn, it goes all the way around the crack. Oh my gosh, look at that. Bruh. This thing will probably shear right off. Where is it even? It's barely even holding on. Bro, look at that. Just a nice exhaust manifold. There, good as new. Alright, so let me show you guys what the CX Racing kit one comes. I didn't order the whole turbo kit, it's just a turbo manifold and downpipe. So here it is. I decided to order it because I was pretty impressed with the naturally aspirated exhaust manifold, like the welds and the stainless steel material, and it sounded really good. So I was like, fuck it, let me get the CX Racing turbo manifold. Look how nice and twisted the tubular manifold is though, and it all meets up to that one point. So the flow is gonna be way much better than the freaking log here, where you can kind of imagine the air, how the air collides up to here. So it's like this air collides against the wall here, and this air collides against each other before it exits. Whereas this one, it's like, it's nicely directed straight to the turbo on each one. So yeah, I mean the welds look pretty beefy to me. And then the downpipe from the turbo to the mid pipe, I think it is. It even comes with the flex pipe. Comes with the gasket, and exhaust manifold gasket. But it didn't come with the gasket that goes to the stock exhaust, you can say. So yeah, before I mock this up, I'm gonna actually take out the MK Turbo downpipe and actually full exhaust, which is, as you guys can see there. So I'm gonna take out the MK Turbo exhaust and I'll get back to you. I disconnected the O2 sensor already. Well, from its connector, not from the, I didn't unbolt it yet. It's a hot one today, boys. I drank a Red Bull for breakfast, but now I'm thirsty, so I think I gotta drink another. Yeah. Exhaust, my exhaust. I should just run a freaking downpipe straight to the hood. Sheesh. The full MK downpipe and catback exhaust. So there's the downpipe, Goes down to this long mid pipe, then the little muffler, and out the exhaust. I was telling Sabas if he wanted it, I'll give it to him for really cheap, because he wants to turbo his Miata as well. But I mean, he has a few projects going on, but we'll see if he wants it still. If not, it might be up for sale, because it's still in pretty good condition. I mean, there's no leaks or nothing on these welds. The flex pipe is still good. V-band surface is still good, other than my shitty cacahuate welds right here, but it was all good and it sounded good too. Yeah, I'm gonna take out the O2 sensor, put it on the new one, and then start bolting all this stuff up. Let's see if we run into any fitment issues. Gotta put some anti-seize on this Johnny. Nasty! I clean the surfaces up with a brush a little bit. Now we put on the new gasket. Alright. Let's see how this new manifold fits on there. So it looks like it's hitting the coolant pipe that goes to the heater core. Just barely though. I don't know if you guys can see there. So I'm gonna try to bend it out of the way real quick and then see if I can get it to. Alright, so I didn't have to bend the pipe. I just had to maneuver it in a different way, but there it is. The bracket is over the manifold now. It looks like it's gonna be a really tight squeeze from here to the down pipe. I saw like on their images in CX Racing that some of them cut this piece out. Well, not cut it out, but they cut slits in it and then hammer it down to give more space. But I'm gonna see if it fits like that. Let's see what happens. I'm gonna bolt this manifold up real quick just so I can see, test fit the downpipe and stuff. Manifold is all in now. I'm breaking a sweat. Let's see what sort of issues we run into right now. Cause as is right now, you know, I had already cut the drain hose according to, you know, where the turbo used to sit on the old manifold. So let's see what happens here. I'm kind of hoping it's still long enough. I'm gonna have to disconnect the intercooler real quick so I can actually pull it over the top. Let's see. You already know this is a must. Holy fuck! Shit was so freaking loud. Alright boys, so this is how it's looking like. I did have to loosen the hot side so I can clock it, because this one's pretty much sits straight up like vertically, whereas the other one was somewhat horizontal. It was like this. But yeah, it's coming together. I'm gonna have to also probably rotate the actuator, the wastegate actuator, so it doesn't have hood clearance. And yeah, I'm gonna start bolting this up. Came with some hardware as well. So it looks like I might have to order a different downpipe face, because look, if I put the one that I have right against the CX Racing one, you see how, maybe you guys can't see it. See how the CX Racing one is slightly bigger? So when I use the C clamps that they provided, I don't think it's gonna mate well, but maybe it will. I guess let's see. Let me see if I just roughly rig it up right here. Maybe it will. I'll just have to eyeball it pretty well. Yeah. The CX Racing turbo manifold actually doesn't have threaded holes, so you can't put studs on it like the MK turbo one. So it's just another piece of hardware that you have to worry about holding in place. I had to actually separate the cold side from the hot side in order to be able to hold these bolts down and tighten them. This manifold is just a little more annoying to hold down. But even then, still, it's not that bad. Let me see what the difference is between these two flanges. So this one, it's basically a 3-inch flange. I don't know if you guys can see that. And the outer flange of this one, .3.2. So it's probably 3.25. It's probably spec. Well, whatever. Anyways, this is bigger. So let's see the inner diameter. It's about 2.5. It's 2.49. The inner diameter of this one is, it's about the same, 2.5. So the inner diameters are the same, but the outer diameters are not. So I'm just kind of hoping the V-band flange here is enough to seal the two. We'll see. All right, so I bolted up the cold side and clocked it right. So this is pretty much pointing straight upwards. Looks like I didn't have to cut, or I mean, looks like I didn't have to lengthen the drain line, so that's good. I just had to rotate it a little bit. And yeah, it's coming together. I'm gonna pull up the intercooler coupler. Looks like I don't have to modify the intercooler at all. Damn, straight on like butter. The MK Turbo Kit intercooler pipes are so skinny. Look at that. Look, compared to my freaking hand, they're literally, oh, bruh, they're so skinny. At some point, I'm gonna upgrade it. Also, the intercooler, like, the intercooler is freaking small as hell. So, considering the amount of boost that I push and like when I'm drifting and stuff, that should probably get heat soaked as hell. So it would be a good idea to upgrade at some point, but not anytime soon, I don't think, because I'm gonna have to pull the engine on the Subi. I'll explain that in a different video, or maybe once I'm already doing it. Now I'm gonna go ahead and install the wastegate flange face. And put just a wee bit of anti-seize on these bolts, so if I do have to take it out or whatever, I don't have to struggle like crazy trying to take them out. I'm hoping I don't have to take it back out to cut some of the firewall area. I hope the downpipe just fits right on. No issues. But you know how this stuff is. This also kind of lubes up the threads because they're super dry from all and corroded from all the heat cycles. Especially the log manifold, that thing would get hot as hell. Like, it would literally be glowing hot red. I wish I would have filmed like a video with the hood off of me like sliding it with the old manifold, so you guys can see how red hot that thing was. But it wasn't worth the effort for the amount of views we get. Freaking 30, 60 views sometimes. It's like, man, is it even worth it? Nah. Alright, let's see if this downpipe fits. Let me feed it from the bottom up. Yeah, it looks like it's not gonna fit. So let me show you guys. So it just barely doesn't clear by that much. I'm gonna Dremel some of that and then just bang it down and see what's up. Kind of marked where I wanna cut with the Dremel and fold down a bit or up, whatever is easier. Alright, let's see if that little bit is enough. Maybe it won't be, but we'll see. Alright, after an hour or so banging, I finally was able to get enough of a cut, as you guys can see there. So the downpipe now fits. And you see how there's some clearance. So I'm gonna put this V-band on right now and see how much actual clearance I have to see if, you know, when the engine is torquing or something. Hopefully it doesn't hit, we'll see. It looks like it just barely doesn't hit. But I'm actually bolt up the rest of the exhaust and see, because right now things aren't aligned, so I'm gonna see how things line up when I have the full exhaust on. And here's the ISR exhaust. Actually, I don't even remember if it's ISR. Oh yeah, it is. It was, yeah. ISR. So this piece here is actually from the exhaust manifold when it was naturally aspirated. That went from the headers, the tubular headers, to this, and then from here on is the ISR. So yeah, so I can take this out and then keep the rest pretty much. Or actually, I might be able to leave this one on. This one might actually be the same exact one as the one that's on there right now. So this is the one that came with the turbo manifold. And yep, it's the exact same one, I think. So I'm actually leave this one. Wait, let me see if it's the same diameter flange. Yep. All right, so I'm gonna save this one, and then I'm just gonna bolt the rest of this exhaust up. All right guys, I have the whole downpipe hooked up. The whole exhaust is now on, with the big old muffler too, big old pipe in the back. And so what I have to do now is pretty much rotate the actuator itself. Well, not rotate it, but remount it so I can bolt it back up to the wastegate. Like there's actually a lot of strain on the actuator, because look, this also broke. The actuator bracket, it cracked. So we'll see what sort of problems it gives me right now. Look. Man, I could just tack that right up if I wanted to. I have to remount it like right here. Yep. Actually, I am gonna tack that back up, because the only thing that would be holding it down is this one bolt. Just gonna grind some of the zinc coating off. Just so the welds stick a little better. Yeah, so I didn't want to weld this side because this side is supposed to sit flush against the turbine, whereas this side doesn't. So this side doesn't really matter. Puro custom. It's gonna go just like this, but I gotta put some thread sealant on these because now this is a China turbo, and the holes here are actually through holes. They're not blind holes, so I could potentially lose some boost in there. So I'm just putting some thread sealant on here. I am gonna let this dry overnight. I'm not gonna be driving it soon anyway, so it's fine like this. Oh no, yes. So there it is, all put back together. The wastegate actuator, I did have to caulk the turbo. My K&N filter actually doesn't fit. The hood won't close, so I need to get another short ram filter. I have this one, but this one's all old and rusted and beat up. But the hood does latch with this one. So yep, I guess let me give it a quick start. Much quieter with this exhaust, but also the muffler is bigger than what it had before. No major exhaust leaks, so that's good. So we'll see on the next one. I'm gonna take it for a spin as soon as I get that filter, and then see how efficient it is as compared to this log manifold.
Love is more than just a game for two.